The term next generation firewall has been around for quite some time. I remember because I had hair when this term came out. Next generation firewall is pretty much old enough to have a driver's license, and it's gone through several elections. It's been a while. So, what is new? What is out there? Because how long can we continue to say next generation firewall? Well, Gartner has coined the new term hybrid mesh firewall. And this is bringing different security controls together under a unified cloud managed policy. And we're going to discuss some of that, specifically one of those components, which is the Cisco Secure Firewall. Firewalls are not going away. They have their place in the enterprise, and there's plenty of use cases for firewalls, whether it's for VPN, at the edge, internal to the network, somewhere in the data center. There are plenty of use cases to have a firewall. Firewalls won't be going away. However, things continue to become unified under a single policy, no matter what these different security controls are, whether they're on the workload, whether they're on the edge, whether it's there in between on the internet, in between your locations. These security controls are being unified and cloud managed. That's the point of hybrid mesh firewall. So in this series, we're going to talk about the Cisco Secure Firewall because it's important to know what you can do with this particular security control. So let's jump into it. Today, we're going to discuss some of the ways that you can manage your Cisco Secure Firewalls because depending on your organization, on the use case, there are several ways that you can manage. And it really comes down to what is the need of the organization and what are the requirements. Today, we're going to talk about secure firewall. So we're not going to talk about ASA. Some folks are still running ASA in their environment, and that's fine. However, my ask and my call to action is pay attention to those end of support dates and milestones that are out there because you might be past some of them or you might be approaching some of those milestones. However, there are certain customers that are also running ASA code on their Cisco Secure Firewalls, and that's perfectly fine. It all comes down to what the use case is, and that's going to continue. So if you just need VPN or something simple, that's perfectly fine. But there are customers that need those next generation firewall features, the IPS, the IDS, the threat detection, all those things. That's important to a lot of organizations. Let's take a look at the ways that we can manage Cisco Secure Firewall. As you can see here, we're taking a look at something that's called Firewall Device Manager. Now, FDM, this is a particular firewall and FTD that I did bring up in Cisco Modeling Labs. So if you're using Cisco Modeling Labs, you're able to spin up a firewall manager. You're able to spin up some firewalls and you're able to play around with it. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Now, I'm given the option. This is really the first time I'm logging into this firewall. I'm given the option on how do I want to manage this firewall. And as you can see there, configure cloud services, configure integration with SCC. What is SCC? We're going to dive into it, but that is security cloud control. That is where our security products are coming together for that unified management in the cloud that's wrapped around with artificial intelligence. It's great to see, and we're going to dive into that. But I have the option to manage the box as a standalone device, and that might be a fit for certain organizations, especially if you don't have that many firewalls. However, if you can cloud manage your fleet of firewalls, that would be great to do. But let's take a look at standalone device. As you can see there, configure some interfaces, configure a policy. I got it. I'm just going to manage this device. I'm going to log into it on the browser. It's going to pick up an IP address on the management port, and that's how I manage it. It's a standalone. But this might not be a fit for all organizations, especially if you have hundreds of firewalls. And that's where Firewall Management Center can come in. An FMC, you can connect multiple firewalls to your FMC, hundreds of firewalls to your FMC, and manage them from one central location. This could be a VM, or this could be actual physical appliances that live perhaps in your data center. And you can do that with the FMC. However, with this particular screen that you're seeing here, we're pretty much just taking a look at a single box. Everything's on the web. However, if I wanted to do other things or configure multiple boxes, I'd have to use APIs or it would take some time. So that's why it's important to take a look at trying to manage a fleet of firewalls from one single location. And that could be the Firewall Management Center. But as you can see here, this is just one of the ways that I can manage a firewall. However, my favorite way of managing the firewall now is with Security Cloud Control. With Security Cloud Control, I can spin up a cloud delivered firewall management center that lives in the Cisco cloud. So that backend infrastructure is managed by Cisco. So we'll switch over here to Security Cloud Control. And it's having me pick a tenant. My organization will keep DavNet. I have my lab firewall, my 1010s actually being managed by a cloud delivered FMC. You have the option as well to connect your on-prem FMCs to Security Cloud Control. And now, why would you want to do that? And you can see that here in the screen, this AI Ops capabilities. You can consume and you can take advantage of these AI Ops capabilities by connecting your on-prem FMCs. Of course, it all depends on what version you have, so have that conversation with your account team, but you should be able to connect your on-prem boxes to the cloud and take advantage of some of these features. But if you can just manage those firewalls in the cloud, you'll be ahead of the game and you'll be able to take advantage of these features as well, especially everything that's coming out. So you can see there's AI Ops capabilities, and we'll discuss some of that in the coming weeks. We'll close this, but you can kind of see a couple things here just by taking a look at Security Cloud Control. You can see some top alerts. You can see there's software upgrade recommendations. There's critical advisories out there that you should pay attention to. It's taking a look at the rules that I have, 1,000 rules, and it can see that there's a couple things that are unhealthy, and that's coming from the AI Ops. We'll dive into that in the next couple weeks. But what I want to do here is we'll go over to administration and we'll go to Firewall Management Center. Again, there are multiple things that you can do, multiple ways that you can manage your fleet of firewalls that's out there. Again, you can do it FDM, you can do it on box, you can do it on an FMC that's on-prem, a VM, or you can connect up to Security Cloud Control and take advantage of a CD, a cloud delivered FMC. So I have my cloud delivered FMC there. I have a single device, which is my 1010 that's here in the lab. Now, what I'm going to do with this 1010 is that let's take a look at the device overview. That's going to bring me into the FMC, into that cdFMC. So if you are a user of an on-prem FMC today, this is going to be familiar to you because the look and feel is there. So you can see information on my existing firewall, the interfaces, everything that's out there, but this is cloud managed. The infrastructure is in Cisco's cloud. We'll take a look at policies. You can see everything is there. So this, for those that are familiar with the FMC, this is simply just a cloud delivered FMC that no longer lives in your data centers. It no longer lives in your private cloud. It lives with Cisco, and you can manage your policy. You can do your upgrades from here. You can do your deployments from here. It makes you a little bit lightweight. So you can see there, I'm clicking around through the policies. And on my lab policy, I don't have too much. We're going to dig into what these policies are over the next couple of weeks. We're going to create some new policies. We're going to do different things over the next couple of weeks. But the goal today really was to share with you the different ways that you can manage your firewalls at your organization. So again, just to recap, FDM, Firewall Device Manager, that's local management of your firewall. However, if you have multiple firewalls, you'll look at an FMC. So that's Firewall Management Center, and that could be on-prem, that could be in the cloud, in your cloud, or you can take a look at Security Cloud Control, and you can look at a cloud-delivered FMC. Let's take your firewalls and connect them to the cloud, or even your local FMCs and connect them to the cloud. That way, you can take advantage of those AI Ops features. We'll dig into it a bit more over the next couple weeks. Please reach out if you have any questions, and I'll see you on the next one.